Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen from Outclick Magazine. The Galleria at Fort Lauderdale, recognized as Broward County's premier shopping destination, has announced the lineup of honorees for its 14th annual Men of Style Challenge. For 2020, the event will take place virtually from October 7th through December 3rd. You will be able to cast your vote virtually. Votes are $25 each, with 100% of the proceeds benefiting the 11 participating charities. The challenge culminates at 5 p.m. on December 3rd, 2020, during a virtual event presentation to announce the leading man of style based on monetary votes. The winning man of style will receive an additional financial contribution from various sponsors for his designated charity. Go to www.galleriamall-fl.com to vote for your favorite guy from this year's list of men of style. And today we welcome Ty Richardson, PhD, to the program. Ty, welcome.
Thank you, Stephen.
Hi, we're excited to have you today and learn more about you. We'll ask you our first question. What nonprofit did you select to work with, and why did you select them?
So the nonprofit that I selected to work with is called Handy. Handy is a nonprofit that was very much dear to me because when I first got to Fort Lauderdale, I wanted to join the community. I wanted to embrace, this newfound destination that I'd chosen to become home. And I have a background in nonprofits. I have a nonprofit myself. It's called YoPro, and we focus on really developing youth and young professionals, but in the Caribbean, in an emerging market. And I needed to find a nonprofit that aligned with that. I'd spent so many years building my own and generating this sense of community amongst that demographic. I wanted to find a very similar and like nonprofit, and Handy fit that bill. But what was even greater about Handy was Handy has this amazing CEO who's very passionate about his nonprofit, Kirk Brown. And Kirk is also from the Caribbean. Kirk is originally from Jamaica. And so there were synergies and alignments there in terms of, my background coming from Trinidad and the Caribbean, his background, but the mission that we were both set up to do, the mission that we both wanted to accomplish, which was how do we foster community amongst youth and young professionals and provide those resources that they need to do better in life. In my case, I was doing it based on education. Kirk was rolling up his sleeves and doing it everything from housing to food, and it really made a difference. Now, Handy doesn't only focus on youth and young professionals, but it is a big part of what they do. And so for me, it was really an extension of what I had done and allowed me to localize my mission.
Very good. Very good. Our second question is, what motivates you to give back to the community?
Community is very important to me. This is a phase in my life where I had actually spent the last few years as a digital nomad. I traveled around the world. I lived in multiple countries. I basically worked from a laptop. And so in the last few years, I decided, as I get into the next phase of my life, I want to find a home, settle down, build a community, plant some roots, grow old in that particular location. And Fort Lauderdale was the destination I chose. I'd looked at New York, I'd looked at Miami, but Fort Lauderdale was that right balance of city, but small and growing and developing. And as a result, coming here, it wasn't just enough to say, oh, I live here now. I needed to do something. I needed to be part of that community. And Fort Lauderdale allowed me to do that. And I dove head on in and joined as many groups as I felt that aligned with who I was and gave back.
Very good. Our third question is, what is your number one strength, and how does it impact what you do professionally and in support of the community?
So this is a really great question, because one of the things that I actually do for a living is coach people on strengths. Using the Gallup Strengths Finder model, we first identify what your core strengths are, where your top and dominant strengths are, and then I help you kind of figure out how to use those every day and live your best life with those strengths. And my number one strength is a strength called significance. And significance means, it's somebody who really values how they're perceived and the work that they do. And so how that translates into my life professionally is I focus on whatever I do at a professional level, whatever job I take, whatever company I participate with or consult for, whatever I engage in, I make sure that it aligns with who I am. It allows me to be my best self, and the work that I do can stand beyond reproach.
And the fourth question is, what is one community challenge you would love to see receive more attention, and why?
So we're going through this pandemic right now, and it is affecting everyone. I think one of the things that is really not brought to the forefront is how badly it's affecting certain communities. Being a part of Handy and speaking with Kirk, I get to hear the stories sometimes of really things that we don't pay attention to. You know, when we live on Las Olas, or we live downtown, or we look into the community and we're glad that the bars are open and people are out and about again, there's an entire community, a lesser advantaged community, that are facing deaths on an almost daily basis, that don't have the access to medical care, or that have the resources to fight this pandemic. And we don't pay attention to that because it's not in our world. I would love to see more attention in the disadvantaged communities and in the growing and emerging communities, that they get some more attention so they can get more of the resources that they need to survive.
Very good. Our fifth question is our fun question. What is your favorite way to kick back, relax, and decompress? And where is the best place to do it?
So I have this imagination, this mindset. I like to plan. I like to take a notepad and kind of think about what would be different if this changed, or if that changed. If I had extra resources, or if I lived in a different place, or if I went to a different, or had a different background. So I sit down and I sketch and I doodle and I write and I write and I write, and I love to do it just in the sun. Believe it or not, living in these air-conditioned buildings is great and everything, but growing up in the Caribbean, I love the sun. I love to soak up, the rays of the sun. So it could be on a balcony, it could be on the beach, it could be in a cafe, but you'll find me with a notepad, just kind of brainstorming the world and making charts and graphs in the sun.
Very cool. Our last question is, what is one professional or personal goal that is a priority for you?
So I have this vision professionally of almost reinventing myself. I think that the pandemic has been a great opportunity for people to kind of strip down when you have the luxury of time. And I just told you, I'm a planner, and you now have the ability to say, okay, did I need all these things that have been in my life all along? And when I became a digital nomad, I gave up everything. I gave up my car, I gave up my house. I traveled on just living place to place with a very basic need. This pandemic has allowed me to kind of go back to that and say, okay, I'm back to that state of raw basics. Like, what do I really need? And either how do I build up, or what do I do next? And so I'm in that stage now of kind of figuring out, well, what does the future look like, and professionally and personally. And it's been fun, but it's not done yet.
Very good. Well, Dr. Ty, it's been great getting to know you, and we are thankful that you've been on the program and excited that you are part of the 2020 Men of Style.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. And everyone have a great day. Vote for your favorite guy for the 2020 Men of Style at www.galleriamall-fl.com.